What if I told you that the single most frustrating moment of your modern life, that's soul crushing, low battery, 20% remaining notification, could become a relic of the past, something we tell our grandkids about like dial-up internet and payphones? Imagine a world where your devices don't just last for a day, but for weeks, maybe even years, on a single charge. A world where an electric car refuels its battery faster than you can order a latte. This isn't a fantasy. It's a promise, whispered from the most bizarre and beautiful corner of science, the quantum realm. We're on the brink of a technology so revolutionary, it makes today's batteries look like stone tools. They're called quantum batteries, and they don't just store energy, they bend the rules of reality to do it. Let's be honest, our civilization runs on a constant, frantic forward drip of electricity. It's the invisible lifeblood of the 21st century. It powers the global symphony of humming servers and vast data centers, the glowing screens that connect us across continents, and the whirring electric motors that are slowly replacing the combustion engine. We are consuming energy at a rate that would have been unimaginable just a generation ago, and our appetite is only growing. Now, we're doing the right thing. We're trying to clean up our act. We're building massive, shimmering solar farms in deserts and elegant, spinning wind turbines on coastlines. We're pivoting away from the fossil fuels that have choked our skies and warmed our planet. But in this noble quest, we've slammed headfirst into a colossal, inconvenient truth. The Earth doesn't work on our schedule. The sun, in its cosmic indifference, sets every single night. The wind is a fickle friend, blowing fiercely one moment and disappearing the next. This creates a maddening cycle of feast and famine. During a sunny afternoon, a solar farm might generate so much power that we can't use it all. And without a place to store it, that precious clean energy simply vanishes. It's like trying to catch a waterfall in a teacup. Then when night falls or the wind dies down, we're forced to fire up the old dirty power plants to keep the lights on. We have the clean energy source, but we're missing the crucial bridge: efficient, large-scale energy storage. This isn't just a grid-level problem. It's a deeply personal one. Think of the range anxiety you feel in an electric car, constantly eyeing the battery percentage on a long trip, wondering if you'll make it to the next charging station. Think of the planned obsolescence built into our gadgets, where a smartphone that was once a powerhouse becomes a sluggish, battery-draining brick after just a couple of years. This is the legacy of our current champion, the lithium-ion battery. For all its merits, the lithium-ion battery is fundamentally flawed technology for the future we want to build. It's like a bucket with a slow, invisible leak. It constantly loses charge and degrades with every single cycle. Charging it is an exercise in patience, taking hours to fill up. And the environmental cost is staggering. To get the cobalt and lithium needed for these batteries, we engage in destructive mining practices that scar pristine landscapes, pollute vital water sources, and often exploit vulnerable communities. We're trying to solve one environmental crisis by contributing to another. The stakes couldn't be higher. We need a fundamental breakthrough. Scientists are working on solid-state batteries and flow batteries, but these are essentially just better, smarter versions of the same old chemical bucket. They're incremental improvements. Quantum batteries, however, are not an improvement. They are a complete paradigm shift. They are a leap into a new reality. Imagine a world where your city's solar panels store enough energy during the day to power everything brightly through the night with zero waste. Imagine a laptop that you charge once when you buy it, and it runs for its entire lifespan. This isn't just about making our lives more convenient. It's about creating a world where clean energy is not a luxury, but a reliable, accessible foundation for everyone. To understand how, we have to let go of the world we see and enter the world we don't. To get what makes quantum batteries so special, you have to throw out your common sense rulebook. In our big, clunky, everyday world, things are predictable. A baseball flies in a smooth arc. A river flows continuously. But if you zoom in, way down past molecules, past atoms, To the realm of electrons and photons, you enter a world that operates on a completely different set of laws. Welcome to the quantum realm, a place of delightful, logic-defying weirdness. Here, the universe isn't smooth clay. It's made of tiny, indivisible Lego bricks. Energy, light, and matter all come in these discrete little packets called quanta. This is the very first principle. Energy isn't a continuous flow. It's a series of tiny steps. A traditional battery stores energy in a messy, chaotic chemical soup. A quantum battery, on the other hand, stores energy with surgical precision in the quantum states of individual particles. Let's use our favorite analogy. An atom is like a tiny solar system. You have the nucleus at the center, and electrons orbiting it on specific energy levels, or shells. Think of these shells not as smooth ramps, but as the steps on a staircase. An electron can't just be anywhere. It has to be on one of the steps. To charge a quantum battery, you give an electron a perfectly calibrated burst of energy, usually from a laser, which kicks it up to a higher step. That electron now holds potential energy, like a coiled spring, just waiting to be released. This jump is called excitation, and it's the foundation of quantum energy storage. But this is where it gets truly wild. In our world, an object can only be in one place at one time. A quantum particle, however, can be in multiple states at once. This is called superposition. Imagine a spinning coin. Before it lands, is it heads or tails? In a way, it's both. A quantum particle is like that spinning coin, existing in a cloud of probabilities until we look at it, forcing it to choose a state. This ability to hold multiple potential energy values at once could dramatically increase storage capacity. And then there's the phenomena Albert Einstein famously called spooky action at a distance, entanglement. Imagine you have two of those synchronized dancers from our source article, one in New York and one in Tokyo. They are entangled. If the dancer in New York raises her right arm, you instantly know the dancer in Tokyo has raised her right arm without any communication passing between them. They are linked by an invisible, instantaneous thread. Now apply this to batteries. If you entangle a whole group of quantum Lego bricks or qubits, they stop behaving like individuals and start acting as a single collective unit. When you charge one, the energy is shared across the entire entangled system. This leads to a phenomenon called superabsorption, a form of quantum advantage. Instead of charging particles one by one, like filling a line of buckets with a single hose, you charge them all simultaneously. The more particles you entangle, the faster the charging rate becomes, not just linearly, but exponentially. We're talking about a charging speed that could take an electric car from empty to full in seconds. This isn't an upgrade from a horse to a car. It's an upgrade from a bicycle to a teleportation device. This is the mind-bending magic at the heart of quantum batteries. They leverage the fundamental weirdness of the universe to achieve feats of energy storage and charging that are simply impossible with classical physics. But how do scientists actually build and control these tiny reality-defying systems? Let's zoom in again, right into the laboratory where this magic is being brewed. The process of charging a quantum battery is less like plugging something into a wall and more like performing a delicate microscopic surgery. Scientists often use a device called a microcavity. Picture a tiny chamber, smaller than the width of a human hair, created by sandwiching a special material between two highly reflective mirrors. This material could be a collection of atoms or a custom-designed semiconductor known as a quantum dot. This microcavity acts like a hall of mirrors for light, trapping photons and forcing them to interact with the atoms inside. Now comes the charging part. A laser is fired into the cavity. But this isn't just any laser beam. It has to be tuned with incredible precision. Remember our electron on the staircase? It will only jump to a higher step if it's hit by a photon whose energy exactly matches the energy gap between the steps. It's like a key fitting a lock. If the energy is slightly too high or too low, the electron ignores it completely. You get static. But when the frequency is perfect, click, the electron absorbs the photon and leaps to the higher energy level. The battery now holds a single quantum of energy. This precision is what makes quantum batteries phenomenally efficient. In your phone's battery, the chemical reactions that shuttle ions back and forth generate a lot of waste heat. That's why your charger and phone get warm. That heat is wasted energy. In a quantum system, because the energy transfer is so perfectly matched, there is virtually no waste. It's a near-perfect conversion of light into stored potential energy. But here's the problem. What goes up must come down. An excited electron is inherently unstable. It's like a ball perched precariously on a high step. Given the slightest opportunity, it will naturally tumble back down to its original, lower energy state, releasing its stored energy as a flash of light, a photon. This process, called spontaneous emission, will cause a quantum battery to discharge itself almost instantly. So, how do you lock that energy in place? How do you keep the ball from falling off the step? This is where scientists pull out their ultimate quantum trump card, the dark state. The dark state sounds like something from a high fantasy epic, and honestly, its function is just as magical. It's a clever quantum trick that essentially makes the excited electron invisible to the universe, preventing it from discharging. It's the quantum equivalent of putting your energy in a locked vault that's shielded from the outside world. To understand it, we need to add one more property to our electron: spin. You can think of an electron spin as a tiny internal compass needle that can point either up or down. When an electron gets excited and jumps to a higher energy level, it leaves behind a hole in its original position. For the electron to fall back into that hole and release its energy, its spin needs to be compatible with the spin of the hole. It's like two magnets that can only snap together if their poles are aligned correctly, north to south. Scientists can manipulate this. By applying precise magnetic fields, they can flip the spin of the excited electron. Now, the electron and the hole have mismatched spins, like trying to force the north poles of two magnets together. They repel each other. The electron is now trapped in the higher energy state. It wants to fall, but the laws of quantum mechanics forbid it. This is called a spin-forbidden transition. The electron has entered a dark state because it can no longer interact with light. It can't emit a photon. The energy is effectively frozen in time. The implications are astounding. A battery that doesn't leak. A device that could hold its charge not for days or weeks, but for years, with virtually no degradation. It would mean the end of self-discharge. But here's the reality check. Quantum systems are the ultimate divas. They are exquisitely sensitive to their environment. The slightest vibration, a stray bit of heat, or a random photon can disrupt this delicate quantum dance and shatter the dark state, causing the energy to leak out. This phenomenon is called decoherence. It's the arch nemesis of all quantum technologies. To combat it, most of these experiments are conducted in highly controlled, vacuum-sealed chambers and cooled to temperatures near absolute zero, minus 459 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 273 degrees Celsius. The snowflake in a microwave analogy is perfect trying to maintain this fragile quantum state in our warm, noisy, chaotic world is the single greatest engineering challenge. Still, the principle is sound. We have a theoretical way to charge a battery with perfect efficiency and store that energy indefinitely. But that leads to the next big question. How do you get the energy back out when you actually want to use it? So, we've successfully charged our quantum battery and locked the energy away in a dark state. Now it's time to power our smartphone. We apply another magnetic field, flip the electron spin back to its original orientation, and poof, the electron drops back to its lower energy level, releasing its stored energy as a single perfect photon of light. And therein lies the problem. We have a burst of light. But your laptop, your car, and your entire power grid run on a flow of electrons, not flashes of light. We have to convert that photon back into usable electricity. The turning a song into a sandwich analogy from the source material is wonderfully weird and accurate. It's a fundamental conversion problem, and it's one of the biggest practical hurdles facing quantum batteries. The most promising solution is to create a hybrid device. Imagine pairing the quantum battery directly with a tiny, ultra-efficient photovoltaic material, essentially a miniature solar cell. The system would work in a beautiful, self-contained loop. When you need power, the quantum system is triggered to release its photons. These photons don't just fly off into space. They are immediately absorbed by the adjacent photovoltaic layer, which then converts the light's energy into an electric current, just like a solar panel does with sunlight. Researchers at institutions like the University of Adelaide are working on exactly these kinds of hybrid systems. They envision a single integrated device that can capture energy from solar or another source, store it perfectly at the quantum level, and then release it on demand as a flow of electrons. This could lead to what scientists call lossless energy transfer system, where nearly 100% of the energy captured is delivered as usable power. Think of the applications. A solar-powered home where the panels on your roof don't just send electricity to a bulky, inefficient chemical battery in the garage. Instead, the energy is stored directly within the panel material itself at a quantum level, ready to be released with perfect efficiency to power your home through the night. Consider a remote village, far from any electrical grid. A small, compact quantum solar device could provide a stable, reliable source of power for lights, refrigeration for medicines, and internet access, completely transforming lives. Or think of the massive, energy-guzzling data centers that form the backbone of our digital world. They generate enormous of waste heat. Quantum batteries could not only slash their electricity consumption, but also reduce the need for massive cooling systems, a double victory for the environment. We're not there yet, of course. Scaling these systems from a single atom in a frigid lab to a practical device that works at room temperature is a monumental task. But every successful experiment, every tiny step forward, brings us closer to a future where energy flows as seamlessly and efficiently as the laws of physics will allow. It's easy to hear all this, the absolute zero temperatures, the spooky action, the lab conditions, and dismiss quantum batteries as a fascinating but impractical science experiment. They probably won't be in your pocket in the next 10 years, and they may never replace the batteries in your remote control. But the focus on that is to miss the point entirely. The quest for the quantum battery is about so much more than just a better battery. It is a powerful engine of discovery that is pushing the absolute boundaries of human knowledge. Every challenge we overcome in trying to control these tiny systems deepens our fundamental understanding of quantum mechanics. And that knowledge has ripple effects we can barely begin to predict. The research that goes into stabilizing a quantum state for a battery is the same research that will help us build fault-tolerant quantum computers. The techniques used to manipulate single photons could lead to new forms of ultra-secure communication or incredibly sensitive medical sensors that can detect diseases at the molecular level. This research forces us to ask bigger questions. It challenges us to master nature at its most fundamental level. If we can crack the code of quantum energy storage, we could architect a world free from the constraints that have defined human history. A world where energy is no longer a scarce, finite resource to be fought over, but an abundant, clean, and democratically accessible utility. A world without blackouts, without reliance on geopolitically sensitive fuel supplies, without the terrible environmental trade-offs we are forced to make today. It's a vision of sustainability so profound it feels utopian, yet it's grounded in the real, tangible laws of physics. Even if a true quantum battery remains a generation away, the journey itself is already changing the way we think. It's a powerful reminder that the most revolutionary breakthroughs often come from the most unexpected places. The biggest changes often start at the smallest possible scale. So, what can we, in our everyday lives, take away from this incredible journey into the subatomic world? The lesson is both simple and profound. The smallest, most precise actions can trigger the most monumental changes. The universe, at its core, operates on precision. An electron needs a perfectly tuned photon to make its jump. This teaches us the power of focus and intention. In our own lives, whether we're trying to learn a new skill, build a business, or improve our health, brute force is rarely the answer. It's the small, consistent, and precise efforts that compound over time to create massive results. It's not about making one giant leap. It's about taking the right small step, again and again. The resilience of the dark state teaches us about protecting our energy. Just as scientists shield their quantum systems from the noise of the outside world, we must learn to shield our focus and creativity from the distractions and negativity that threaten to drain us. Creating your own dark state, a mental space free from chaos, is essential for doing deep, meaningful work and for preserving your own well-being. So here is my advice. Start small, but think big. You don't need a particle accelerator in your basement to apply these principles. Be precise with your energy. Turn off the lights when you leave a room. Unplug devices that are not in use. These are tiny quanta of conserved energy that collectively make a difference. Be curious. Learn about the science that is shaping our world. Support the policies and technologies that are pushing us toward a cleaner future. Every small action is a vote for the world you want to live in. Just as a single electron holds the potential for a quantum leap, your own small, intentional actions hold the potential to transform your life and contribute to a better world. So I want to hear from you. What do you think? Are quantum batteries the inevitable future of energy, or will they remain a beautiful but distant dream? What's the one device in your life you wish had a truly infinite battery? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get this conversation sparking. Wishing you good health, boundless energy, and endless curiosity. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more mind-bending stories about the future we are building together.